All right, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on. We are live. Hello, everybody. A moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives. Let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up, we can get up, we can go up. This is my rant today. Yeah. Hopefully everybody's been doing the best that they can in the situation that they're in. Let's go.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Okay, so let's get to it. The more I am watching this RICO case, the more and the Me Too movement and selective outrage and selective support, the more it builds my rant. So we know it's around the time of Kenneka Jenkins' anniversary. We already know over here, J4K, period. Period. No need to pontificate about it. We'll never vacillate about it. But what I'm finding interesting, as I'm watching this RICO case pertaining Robert Sylvester Kelly in New York, and I'm watching the names being brought up, and I am going back and doing little research here and there about how docuseries came along to mute Rkelly and how Me Too movement came about and how Time's Up movement sprung up and came about, the more I find it a little bit interesting and extremely peculiar that names such as Kim Foxx, the district attorney for Cook County in Illinois, is factored into this, and Lisa Van Allen is factored into this, because it seems a bit interesting to me that when Kenneka Jenkins' body was found in a freezer at a hotel that she did not work at, with artificial intelligence, motion censored cameras in a kitchen, which triggered an alarm, I have yet to see any Me Too rah rallying, double backing to the hotel, saying this looks extremely suspicious. I find that a bit peculiar, because when I'm listening to firsthand reports from people at this RICO trial, and I hear that women were supposed to be victims and they are getting plastic surgery, that Mr. Kelly has paid for plastic surgery. He's flown them out. They're getting Birkin bags. They have access to cell phones. They're spending $500 at Red Lobsters. They're getting thousands of dollars a week. I find it a bit appalling that the Me Too movement and those who would support the Me Too movement would be more inclined to believe that those women were victims versus Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old female Kim Foxx, who was found in a freezer at a hotel. Oh, let me rant a little bit today, because I will. I find it a little bit perplexing that Kim Foxx would take her time, would take time out years ago and put her weight, her time, her effort, and her energy into muting Robert Sylvester Kelly and making sure he's held accountable, versus taking the time, effort, and energy, going down into Rosemont, Illinois, making sure during that time that the hotel had a temporary injunction to be shut down until a thorough investigation was conducted behind a 19-year-old girl body found in a freezer, by the way. And let me say it again, with artificial intelligence, cameras throughout the kitchen. Am I making sense to anybody? And all your understanding, you will get an understanding today. I also find it a bit interesting, because I'm on my rant right now with the Me Too movement Time's Up, that it is roughly 230,000 Black people and people of color missing. It's roughly 75,000 Black females missing. I find it a bit peculiar that they would be so vested and running behind women and teenagers that are of legal age story about Robert Sylvester Kelly, in which they admitted themselves, those who have taken a stand, that he was paying for their plastic surgery. He paid for them to have Birkin bags. He was flying them all around from state to state. They were getting thousands of dollars monthly. That this movement, that this Me Too Rkelly movement would find time, effort, and energy to devote to that, and won't double back to Rosemont, Illinois. And I have yet to hear them say a single word about 75,000, roughly 75,000 Black females missing in the United States of America. Roughly 230 people of color missing in the United States of America. This, while I've been listening to this trial and the reading of transcripts, is an insult to my intelligence. This movement now is a bit perplexing to me. Selective justice, selective outrage, right? You can put your time, effort, and energy behind some women who went on a tour, who got paid, women who went on tours to mute Rkelly, who got paid, by the way, to sit on a docuseries, took book tours, also was getting paid by him, flown in and out, getting Birkin bags. I find it a bit perplexing during this Kenneka Jenkins anniversary month that women and the judicial system over here in the United States would put their time and effort, energy into that versus putting the weight behind finding out what happened inside that hotel in Rosemont with motion sensor cameras in a kitchen, which triggered an alarm when a person's entered the atmosphere in the perimeter, but they have time to take him to court behind women who were getting plastic surgery and Birkin bags from their own mouth. This is what they said on the stand. These aren't my words. These are their words. And I would admonish everyone to, if you can, and if you're interested, to purchase transcripts. If you're vested at all, if you really care about what the judicial system is doing over here in America, if you really want to take your time and really dig a little bit deeper into these movements that are supposed to be about women, that are supposed to be about justice. Oh, I'm ranting today. High flower and people in the bushes. Oh, I'm gonna rant today, but don't take my word for it. I'm gonna let the record show. Let me just show you Kim Foxx. Yeah, Cook County, Kim Foxx. The one who was a little silent when it came to Kenneka Jenkins. That Kim Foxx. And am I to believe my ears and what I'm seeing? She's extremely concerned about women. Is it just some women or is it all women? Is it selective support in this movement? Or is it about justice for all women in the movement? I find it a bit interesting that people would find it hard to believe Kenneka Jenkins' mother, Mama T is what we call her, when she said she walked into Rosemont, Illinois, and it was a camera right there. Her and Lenore said the same thing. And then when they went back, the camera was mysteriously missing. But they can believe some women who have sat on the stand during this Rkelly RICO case and contradicted them own selves and couldn't remember a half of what they said when they were giving their depositions to the government. And many of them have said they didn't say that to the government at all. That's not what they said. They're recanting stories. They can't remember. But Mama T has been consistent since day one on what she saw, what she said, and what her stance was. I find it a bit interesting that Kim Foxx and Lisa Van Allen would be taking their time and effort and energy and just gearing it towards this. Women, I'll say it again, who have admitted to having plastic surgery on Rkelly's money, who have admitted to him buying them and purchasing them Birkin bags on Rkelly's monies, who have admitted to having kids, and one even admitted that she had herpes prior to meeting Rkelly. I find it a bit interesting the way this movement or alleged movement is supposed to be moving And it's about justice? Is it about selective justice, or is it about justice for all women? I find this a bit interesting. Perplexing, appalling, and a little bit irritating. But let me let the record show. Kim Foxx, I just find this a little bit interesting doing this Kenneka Jenkins anniversary.
Accusing Foxx of trying to solicit baseless accusations. It was a remarkable appeal from Chicago's top prosecutor.
Please come forward. There's nothing that can be done to investigate these allegations without the cooperation of both victims and witnesses.
State's Attorney Kim Foxx referring to Rkelly, now the subject of a cable docuseries detailing sexual abuse allegations made against the singer over 2.5 decades, accusations Kelly has denied. The Chicago native and Grammy winner, known for his chart-topping hits.
Kim Foxx, I find it interesting. Very interesting that you will put your weight behind that. I find it very interesting that the Me Too movement would put their weight behind that. But I also find it extremely interesting that Kim Foxx did not put her weight behind Kenneka Jenkins being found in a freezer. And let me say it again, with motion sensing cameras inside a kitchen. Yeah. 47 cameras, according to their documentations, on the premises. Yeah. A camera on the 9th floor where the party was allegedly supposed to take place. Yeah. I find that a bit interesting. That Kim Foxx wouldn't put her weight behind a Black female being found inside a freezer and allowing the hotel, number one, to turn over electronically stored information / data / evidence to the police department without a chain of custody. I didn't see a chain of custody into the police department, according to what I have read. Got it in their hands. I find that a bit interesting, that Kim Foxx and others would take their time in this area, believe all women. But did they believe Mama T when she said she saw a camera, her and Lenora? But they want to believe all women, right? No, we believe the facts. I find it a bit interesting that people would believe a false narrative, that she just was so inebriated that she walked herself into a hotel freezer inside a kitchen with motion detection cameras, with cameras with motion detection on the inside of them, artificial intelligence, and locked herself in the freezer and no one was aware. And the purpose of having red boxes is they trigger an alarm when a person enters into the atmosphere, when they enter into the perimeter. Oh, I'm on my rant today. I'm on my rant today. Kerensz, why are you ranting? Because I'm doing a comparison and a contrast. Rkelly RICO case compared to the effort and the energy that was put behind Kenneka Jenkins from Kim Foxx and others who wanted to run out. That's right. And allegedly support women. And allegedly believe all women without evidence. I find that a bit perplexing. Selective justice, right? Selective justice, right? And let me say it again. Roughly 75,000 Black women are missing. Roughly 230 people of color in the United States are missing. And another thing, while I'm listening to and reading along the reading of his transcripts, for those who have purchased the transcripts of Rkelly's RICO case, I find it also a bit interesting that for some women who were supposed to be kidnapped, bound, that they were Birkin bags were being purchased, and they were going on shopping sprees, and they were getting plastic surgery. This came from their mouths, their lips. And they were being flown in and out. And when they wanted to leave, he would fly them back to wherever they wanted to go. I find it a bit interesting that people will come out and call these women victims. It is an insult to my intelligence. It is an insult to justice. And in my opinion, and from my perspective, it is a waste of taxpayers' money. That's what I've seen. That's what I've heard pertaining to this RICO trial and Robert Sylvester Kelly. It is a waste because you have women on the stand saying that they willingly slept with him. You have women on the stand saying that they kept going back for more and more and more. And you want to call them victims? No, the real victim, one of the real victims was Kenneka Jenkins. That's what I would call a victim to this diabolical society and justice system, or the lack thereof in the United States of America. The victim of a news media who likes to spin stories and tell half-truths. Or news media for some who won't conduct real fact-finding investigative journalism, who won't go above and beyond to see if hard drives have been authenticated, who won't just ask the simple questions. Motion sensor cameras. How did she get there? When she entered the atmosphere, you have what, over 5 cameras in the kitchen. Were they all inoperable? And surely on the 9th floor is a camera there that was operable. Where's the video footage from that? And why in the world would you allow Rosemont Hotel, which would be held liable for her death, to give you any information as a police department and think that was okay? But this is a Me Too movement, right? This is a believe all woman, kumbaya, inclusive movement, right? So Kim Foxx got time for that? She got time for that, huh? But she didn't have time to make sure a temporary injunction was acquired against Rosemont in Illinois to shut that hotel down until a thorough investigation was conducted. But she got time for some Me Too mess. Oh yeah, I called it some mess. Because anytime you read through transcripts and you hearing these women saying, oh, he was flying me here. Oh, he was flying me there. Oh, I was getting plastic surgery. Oh, I was getting a Birkin bag. Oh, I was getting thousands of dollars a month from him. Oh, we were spending $500 every time we went to Red Lobster. Oh, he had me locked in a room, but I could order from a menu, and I had my phone, and I did call my baby's father while I was allegedly supposed to be kidnapped. That's foolishness, and it's nonsense. And can't nobody make that make sense, because it doesn't, and it never will. And it is an insult to my intelligence. And to the prosecutors who want to believe all women and want to be Me Too, Where's your dang on evidence at? Y'all was supposed to have all this video footage of Rkelly. Where is it at, and has it been authenticated? And where is the chain of custody for that? And I want some bit by bit copies of every hard drive involved in that case too. If we want to go there, they have yet to roll video footage that's relevant. Until the scandalous news media, some of the scandalous news media reporters. Let me say it this way. Don't want to call you too scandalous. Let me say to the news media who's caught up into sensationalism. Let me explain to you, because I'm on my rant today, what sensationalism is. Sensationalism is when you don't have all the facts and you go out and you report a story just based off of ratings and views. Now I'm waiting for the news media to report all these plastic surgery that this one person had, that Rkelly paid for. I'm waiting for the news media to report how much they were getting monthly from Rkelly. I am waiting for the news media to come out and report that they've seen no video footage that was authenticated. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the news media to come out and say that these women admitted to lying about their age. I'm waiting for the news media to come out and say about this case that one of them got on the stand herself and found out prior to her ever meeting Rkelly, she already had herpes. I'm waiting for the news media to come out and say that they were wrong and they did not conduct any type of investigative journalism when it came to this RICO case. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the news media and others to come out and say they went based off a case that he won in 2008 or prior cases. That's what they wanted to build this around. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for these wannabe Me Too movement attorneys to come out and say that they have selective justice. That they believe in selective justice. That is selective. I'm waiting for Kim Foxx to finally put her weight and her influence behind something real in terms of Black female, a teenager being a victim, like Kenneka Jenkins. I'll wait. That goes for Lisa Van Allen too, since she wanted to be reporting, or her name was coming up in videos towards the end as it pertained to Kenneka Jenkins back then, from news media outlets who spun false narratives. They didn't have hard drives. They didn't have any authenticated copies of hard drives from Rosemont, Illinois hotel. They didn't come out and say that the data and that footage that they were showing was captured when the operating systems, or whatever system it was on, was in its volatile state. I will wait, because over here we already know that when you power down any electronic device, and especially when you power down electronic devices with nice hard drives in them, and you boot them back up, you get a whole different set of algorithms. That they are not the same. So come on out and tell me you don't have a bit by bit copy with hash values that match, news media, Don't you ever come out and tell me that you're showing original video footage. I know what original video footage is without the proof. Oh, I'll wait. Oh, I said it was a rant. So this is my rant. Now, to the rest of the people who are J4K community, stay strong, continue to do what you do. You don't, of course, many of us stop showing videos and talking about it, but we still support Mama T. We are down for the cause forever, period. Because you can't pick sense out of nonsense. And that mess that the news media came out and said about Kenneka Jenkins was nonsense. And for this Me Too movement, from my perspective, you all have selective outrage. You have a selective justice system process. And it's a bit perplexing. Now that I've been paying attention to this RICO case, I see to the degree that it is perplexing and outlandish. Oh, hi, G Money. Okay, now, having said that, the revolution will not be televised. And news media, you already know what it is. Most of you all don't even need to be licensed to report the news, because all you reporting is sensationalism. And for people who would assume, like this one news reporter wrote before I get off, that, oh, these people, now some people do have some theories about Kenneka Jenkins. Some people had some conspiracies. But I'm coming with direct questions. The same questions I had years ago. Do you know if the video footage was authenticated? Prior to it hitting the police officer's hands? Did anybody know where the original hard drives are? Was a bit by bit copy? Were bit by bit copies made? And when they were made, if they were made, did the hash values match algorithm? Did the algorithm match the copies in terms of the hash values? Did it match in a volatile state for all drives involved? All. Can somebody answer that question, please? I'm still waiting. Why would you think it was okay for a hotel who would be held liable to give the police anything directly without saying to the police department, excuse me, why didn't you get a warrant to shut it down temporarily? Get a temporary injunction to close the hotel down. So evidence can be preserved. And to the police officers and detectives who conducted the investigation, which I said was a half-tailed sloppy job, where were your body cams at? when it's an extremely suspicious death and it pertains electronically stored information, best practices are there for a reason. And best practices say when you go to the incident or you get to the property or the place where the incident occurred, you should have your body cams on at all times to cover your behinds. I still don't know the serial numbers off the electronic devices from the hotel. Other people can run with conspiracies. I'm going to run and make you prove whatever you're saying. And anybody can fill in those blanks. Now, hey, Alan. Now, having said that, circle back around to the Me Too movement and the mute Rkellys. I find it a bit perplexing and vexing almost that you all will put your time, effort, and energy, especially you, Kim Fox, behind a docuseries and then tell women based off a docuseries that you saw to come forth. When as a prosecutor, if you're going to build your case, you should already have your evidence on lock with your witnesses to go along. And that should have been based off you getting up off your backside, making sure thorough investigations were conducted. That you would put your weight, your time, your effort, and your energy, and your voice into telling some women, one who had plastic surgery that Rkelly paid for twice from her own lips, she said it. The others who were getting money from him with their own mouths, they said it. Birkin bags, their own mouths, they said it. That you would find the time to support that and call them victims and not find the time to use your voice for Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old who was found inside a hotel freezer with artificial intelligence on the premises and motion detection boxes inside a kitchen. And let me say it again for the slow ones or the ones that's a little bit sleepy. When you enter the perimeter of the atmosphere, they can detect that you're there. It triggers an alarm, it sends an alert. So somebody knew she was in there, period. Period. Yeah. That you would call those women who getting Birkin bags and plastic surgery and all that, you put your weight and voice behind that versus a 19-year-old found inside a hotel freezer, which is extremely suspicious in and of itself, and not call to put your weight behind that. So having said that, that's my rant. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Bye-bye, everybody. Remember J4K. Let me run my purple heart in the chat before I get off. Kenneka Jenkins, you will never be forgotten. We believe in a form of justice. One of the forms of justice is that hotel, and all others involved sending her money. Well, settled, well, being sued for liability and gross negligence. So they're my purple hearts. part of justice is recompense to her family. Part of justice. The other part of justice is finding out what in the world happened. Who knew, when they knew, to what extent, degree that they knew, because somebody knew. And why didn't they say something? And then holding them accountable. Now, for the Me Too movement, again, let me say it again in case you missed it. Roughly 75,000 Black women are missing in America. Roughly 230,000 people of color are missing in the United States of America. I have yet to hear you all focus on that. Since you want to focus on victim trafficking, because they tried to say Rkelly was sex trafficking, since you want to focus on that. Also, last year, when they found a host of teenagers in my state, Michigan, the young lady who had been found in a barn, I have yet to hear of anybody from the Me Too movement interviewing any of these young kids who were really being trafficked and found that are women, that are teenagers. I have yet to see anybody from that movement or whatever you want to call yourself do anything like that. Now, having said that, you all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Remember, J4K for life. Thank you all for streaming. Bye-bye, everybody. Stay vigilant.